Don't skip. Have you ever wondered why the smallest things can irritate you so much? A glance, a careless remark, an unintentional action, each one like a tiny needle pricking your mind, leaving you annoyed, frustrated, or even dwelling on it for an entire day. But here's a truth few realize. The problem isn't what happens to you, it's how you respond. If a stranger insults you, you might stew in anger for hours. But if the same words came from a 3-year-old, you'd probably just laugh. The difference isn't in the words, it's in how you interpret them. So, how do you reach a point where nothing can disturb your peace? The answer lies in a philosophy that has stood the test of time, Stoicism. It doesn't teach you to suppress your emotions or become indifferent. Instead, it helps you master your mind so that nothing can affect you unless you allow it. In this video, you'll learn 10 ways to turn calmness into your greatest weapon so that no one can shake you and no situation can pull you down. Get ready, because after today, the world may remain the same, but you won't. Number 1, dichotomy of control. Have you ever felt like the dichotomy of control? Whole world is conspiring against you. You're waiting in line for coffee, but the person in front of you is taking forever to find their money. You're driving only to get stuck behind someone crawling along in the fast lane. You spend a whole week working on a report, and your boss barely skims it before tossing out a cold needs revision. Frustrating, of course. But ask yourself, are these things really bothering you, or are you letting them? The core principle of Stoicism, the dichotomy of control, says that the world consists of 2 kinds of things: those we can control and those we cannot. Try a small exercise. Close your eyes and think about everything that frustrated you this past week. How many of those things were actually within your control? You can't force other drivers to be more mindful, but you can control how you react. You can't make the person in front of you move faster, but you can take that moment to breathe instead of fuming. You can't dictate your boss's mood, but you can decide how you receive their feedback. There's a story about a Stoic. One day, a man came to him complaining that his neighbor was talking badly about him. The Stoic simply smiled and asked, "Were you forced to listen?" And that's the point. We get to choose how we take things in. If you find yourself easily dragged into anger and frustration, the problem isn't the world, it's you. Imagine your mind as an on-off switch. Everything out there, bad news, annoying people, unlucky days, can only affect you if you turn the switch on, but you can choose to leave it off. Here's a truth few people want to accept. Most of our suffering doesn't come from the world itself, but from how we interpret it. You drop your phone, that's just an event. But if you think this is the worst day ever, I'm so clumsy, you've made it worse. You could think differently. Drop my phone, let's see. The screen's still intact. I'll be more careful next time. If you want to practice the dichotomy of control, start small. When something irritates you, ask yourself, do I control this? If the answer is no, let it go. That doesn't mean you have to passively accept everything. It just means it's not worth your energy. A neighbor plays loud music. You can talk to them, but if they don't change, you can get noise-cancelling headphones instead of stewing in frustration. Stuck in traffic, inevitable. But you can put on your favorite podcast instead of cursing in your car. Someone criticizes you. You can't control their thoughts, but you can control how you handle their words. Want to be untouchable by life's annoyances? Stop letting trivial things take up space in your mind. Try this for just one day, only one day, and see how your life shifts. Number 2, amor fati. Fati. There are moments in life you never ask for: losing a job, betrayal, illness, crushing failure. You can resist, rage against the unfairness of it all, or you can accept it as part of a greater design you can't yet see. This is amore fati, loving your fate, not in passive resignation, but in active embrace. Imagine a sudden storm ruining the picnic you had been looking forward to. Most people would curse the sky, complain about their bad luck. But a Stoic sees something else. A chance to feel the rain, to listen to its rhythm, to create a new plan they hadn't considered. Nothing is bad unless you decide it is. Marcus Aurelius once said, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." A strong fire doesn't discriminate between fuel. Whether it's dry wood or debris, everything feeds its flames. You too can be that fire transforming obstacles into energy. But this doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. When losing a loved one, grief is natural. Yet Amorati teaches that instead of resisting reality with bitterness, shared. Think of Job in the Bible who lost everything and still said, "The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Strength isn't about controlling fate, it's about controlling your response to it. Some might ask, how can I love a tragedy? But that question is flawed from the start. It's the way you define tragedy that makes it one. People suffer most when they resist the current of life, wishing it were different instead of learning how to swim with it. Imagine yourself as a boxer. When your opponent throws a punch, you can take it stiffly and feel its full impact. Or you can absorb the momentum, pivot, and turn it into an opportunity to strike back. Amorati doesn't mean accepting defeat. It means making every hit work in your favor. So how do you apply this in everyday life? The next time something bad happens, don't ask why me. Instead ask, what is this teaching me? If someone betrays you, you learn to choose your friends wisely. If you lose your job, you have a chance to redefine your path. If you fail, you gain experience. When hardship comes, tell yourself, good, let's see how I can use this. Accepting fate doesn't mean giving up control. It means achieving a higher level of freedom. Freedom from unrealistic expectations. Freedom from unnecessary complaints. And this leads us to the next lesson, self-control. If Amore Fati teaches us to embrace reality, self-control teaches us how to act within it. Accepting fate with grace is one thing, but having the discipline to respond well to it is another. Are you ready for the next step? Self-control. Number 3, self-control. Have you ever found yourself irrationally angry over something trivial? Maybe it was a seen message with no reply, an annoyed glance from a colleague, or a stranger bumping into you without apologizing. That tiny moment ends up ruining your entire day, as if someone could control your emotions with a mere snap of their fingers. But think about it. Why does someone so insignificant have that much power over your mind? If something so small can set you off, are you truly in control of yourself? That's the real issue. You think you're steering your life, but in reality, you're being pulled by everything around you. Self-control doesn't mean becoming an emotionless machine. It means not letting the outside world dictate how you feel. Imagine you're driving, and suddenly an impatient driver honks aggressively and swerves past you. If you react instinctively, you'll get angry, maybe even speed up to teach them a lesson. But then what? You're only punishing yourself. Your heart rate spikes, adrenaline floods your brain, and your entire day is ruined over a stranger you'll likely never see again. That person has already forgotten about you, yet you carry that frustration for hours. Does that make sense? So, how do you practice self-control? First, create distance between emotion and reaction. When something irritates you, don't respond immediately. Imagine your mind as a phone. Every time someone provokes you, they're making a call. But do you have to pick it up? No, let it ring. Let the noise pass and ask yourself, is this really worth my energy? Most of the time, the answer will be no. Second, turn adversity into training. Just as muscles grow stronger through resistance, self-discipline strengthens through challenges. The next time someone frustrates you, don't see it as an insult. See it as a workout, an unreasonable client, a chance to practice composure, a stubborn coworker, a test of patience. From now on, when facing a stressful situation, ask yourself, if I stay calm, how strong will I become? The way you respond doesn't just shape that moment, it shapes who you are. Here's the paradox. Those with the highest self-control are the freest. Many think freedom means doing whatever they want. But if you can't master your emotions, you're just a puppet of the world around you. So the real question is, will you keep letting others decide how you feel, or will you take the wheel? Try it now. One moment of restraint, one choice to stay calm when anger feels justified. And if you've ever succeeded in mastering yourself, share your story. Who knows, your experience might help someone else find the freedom they never thought possible. And if you're ready to keep growing into a stronger version of yourself, stick around. We have a lot more to master emotions. Explore. Number 4, master emotions. Epictetus once said, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. We don't get angry because of what others say. We get angry because of how we interpret it. If someone calls you a failure, it only stings if you yourself doubt your worth. If a random person on the street calls you Mr. President, would you feel proud? No, because you know it isn't true. So why feel hurt when someone calls you stupid?